The third round of talks aimed at diffusing tensions between Russia and Ukraine appears to have ended in a deadlock. The high-stakes meeting of the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, or the OSCE, was held on Thursday. This is the first meeting between the 57 member states of the OSCE. Poland kicked off the crucial proceedings by warning that the risk of war in Europe is now greater than ever before in the last 30 years. Without naming Russia in his address, Polish Foreign Minister warned of a reignition of tensions in some of the conflict-ridden regions like Georgia, Armenia and Moldova.
It seems that the risk of war in the OSCE area is now greater than ever before in the last 30 years. The problem is not related to one or two countries, but poses a challenge to the stability and security of a European system that has been developed over the course of more than 3 decades. We are not indifferent to security objections voiced by participating states.
Russia's envoy to the OSCE, meanwhile, said patience in Moscow is running thin due to inadequate response from the West over their security demands.
Адекватного ответа или какой-то реакции на наши предложения, к сожалению, мы не услышали от наших партнеров. Все вращалось вокруг их озабоченностей якобы агрессивным поведением России, особенно в контексте украинских событий. Упражнялись и по-своему интерпретировали закрепленный в документах ОБСЕ принцип неделимости безопасности.
The Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, or the OSCE, is an important partner for NATO, and the Allies attach great importance to the role of the OSCE in fostering dialogue, building trust and upholding the rules-based international order. Earlier, the last 2 meetings held this week in Geneva and Brussels failed to yield any breakthrough. The United States is largely settled on the options for sanctions against Russia should it invade Ukraine. The country says it will be prepared to impose sanctions as soon as any tanks roll in the region. The meeting comes as an estimated 100,000 Russian troops continue to remain deployed near Ukraine's eastern border. United States and NATO have jointly rejected Moscow's demand of banning Ukraine from entering the bloc. Moscow has laid out a detailed list of security guarantees, which includes a demand that NATO gives up military activity in Eastern Europe and Ukraine. Russia's military build-up along the Ukraine border has sparked concerns of a possible military escalation between Russia and Ukraine. Russia, however, has denied claims of any invasion plans on Ukraine. Another day, another setback to the royal reputation. In the latest, Prince Andrew, member of the royal family who has been accused of sexually abusing a minor 2 decades ago, is forced to give up his royal and military links. Now, this comes just a day after his lawyers failed to convince a US judge to dismiss a civil lawsuit. What do Londoners think about the royal crisis? Many of them say he deserves it. Listen in.
Because I feel like that whole institution has been protective of itself for so many centuries now that it kind of feels like they've been untouchable for a long time. So maybe it's a sign of a good change because we're all people, and people, yeah, we make mistakes, they make mistakes, so they should be held accountable in the same manner that we're held accountable.
You can't say he didn't know who Epstein was when he chose him as a friend, so he deserves it to lose them.
Ultimately, I think it's the right thing. I feel like if it's the things that came out about him, he should take responsibility.
Personally, I think that, you know, if there's any kind of guilt or there's any chance that he's done it, then, you know, maybe it's a good precautionary measure, and essentially until he's either proven his guilt or his innocence.
I'm really happy that the royal family isn't defending him anymore and that he's a private citizen defending his own case. So I hope that justice will be served.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.